Well, good afternoon. I'm going for a little drive right here in Portland, Oregon. Home of the free, land of the brave, where the sun shines bright on the green elephants at night. Or not. Got to run over to a friend of mine's house and borrow her set of keys for the church so that I will be able to open it up tomorrow at the proper time. You see, I went and traded vehicles Friday, and I ended up leaving my church keys in my pickup locked in the warehouse over by the Portland airport, which is just not worth a 40-mile drive to go get them when I can borrow Ruth's for... Could you talk a little softer, please? I'm vlogging over here. When I can just drive over to Ruth's house and pick up her set and borrow them without causing too much commotion. There's people playing in the park, kids on the merry-go-round even. Look at that. Sweet. Drive out to Aloha. I'm not sure how far it is. I could have looked at that. It's a 20-minute drive. So, can't be very far. Be a lot closer than the airport, that's for sure. And it's on the other side of the church, so on my way back I'll stop in and make sure the heater's not going to be blowing hot air in the morning when we'd rather have the church stay cool. But things are jumping around here today. There's people driving around. You know, it's just pretty out. There was a time when you could drive around here anywhere you wanted to go without having to worry about traffic much. When we first moved out here from Oregon in '62, we never really concerned ourselves much about traffic around here. But things have changed a bit in the last, how many years is that? 50 years? 72, 82, 92, 2002, 2012. That's 50 years ago. Yikes! That means I was 12 years old when we moved out here. Tell you what, sorry, my mind's kind of wandering a little bit here, but along those lines, what I was saying, my whole life is so much more than I deserve. When I think about the way I've treated my health, my career, kind of wasted my education. I spent 25 years getting drunk every day, smoking cigarettes every day. It's a miracle that I'm alive today. I would not be alive today if I had not turned to God when I was at my worst. There was one day when I woke up and thought I had surely killed myself. I could just tell by the way my body felt. And it had never occurred to me until that day to just look up to God and ask Him to help me. And He sure did. He changed my life. I've been the doorkeeper at my church for a long time now. 8 of those years I went running again. If you don't think that's a miracle, man, it's totally amazing. There's absolutely no reason at all that I can't just trust God for all good things that I need from now on for the rest of my life. I mean, that is just the truth. I just got to stay close to Him, seek His will, and obey it, which is a joy when you love Him as much as I do. Not to say that some things that I have to do in this life aren't hard. I'm not saying that, but it's a joy to know God. I would be lost, I'd be dead without Him. If you knew me, you'd know I'm not exaggerating. If you knew me 25 years ago, you'd wonder how in the world I made it this far. You really would. It's my mother's prayers and the prayers of others and the God they pray to. That's the source of my life today and my hope for tomorrow. There's the church. There's people over there at the school, it looks like. Going over to Ruth's and Carlton's. Going to pick up some keys to borrow. Gotta remember how to get here. Let's see. I guess it's coming up. I forget, there's a little driveway we got to turn up on here. Somewhere.
Your destination is on the left.
This might be it right here. Looks familiar. There's Ruth's truck. This is it. We got her. Okay. Look at that. Well, Ruth was out planting potatoes and dog-proofing potatoes because she's going to be dog-sitting Jason and Melissa's 2 dogs, one of which is a black Labrador. And she doesn't want them digging up her potatoes. She's liable to get a bit of a tan out there dog-proofing her taters on a day like this. Carlton and Ruth are good people, good Christian folks. I like those guys. I like those guys. God takes care of them too. He's the lily of the valley. He's the bright morning star. Look at that. He's the fairest of 10,000. Everybody ought to know.
Please notice your phone's battery is overheating.
Well, for heaven's sake. It only does that when I use this car charger. Want to overheat it. It's got to last me till September when the new iPhone 5 comes out. You know? Alright. Guy woke up just in time. I'm just criticizing someone's driving. Forgive me. Hope they don't criticize mine. I just try to stay out of trouble, but it's hard, I tell you. It's pretty hard to go somewhere on the roads these days without annoying another driver. Have you noticed that? When I was a kid, people used to go for, they called them Sunday drives. In fact, it was such a popular event that if somebody was just poking along during the week, they actually called them a Sunday driver because they were just driving around for enjoyment, I guess, instead of trying to get somewhere like everybody else, you know. Well, nowadays, if you're a Sunday driver, they might shoot you. I'm not sure. They pretty much disallow that. I've joked with the idea that most people drive honestly and truly as if they believe there ought to be a law against somebody driving down the freeway at the posted legal speed limit. God forbid if you go slower than that. I had one guy pretty near try to kill me with his truck for obeying the speed limit. That was on the I-205 bridge probably a couple months ago. But people are just, whew, there's so many of us, and we have been left to think the way we want to for so long, and we collectively as a society disregard things like speed limits regularly and consistently to the point where it actually seems like it's wrong if you do the right thing. I would not be surprised to find out when all is said and done that Satan had something to do with the way people think about things like that. You believe whatever you want. I think that Satan is a real entity, a created being has a lot more power than any of us do. And who's very actively involved in the souls of men right now. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he doesn't get mine. I want to stop in here at the church now and see what the temperature is in the sanctuary at 4:30 in the afternoon. This would be about the time of day that the Latino congregation will be finishing their service up, 4:35 I think. And I want to see how hot it is in there. Yikes. Gas is 4.36 a gallon here. 4:37. Boxing, 6 p.m. today. Ooh, I don't want to go there. I would lose that battle. The last thing I want to be is a boxer. There's the lighthouse. There's the church. Cornerstone, now enrolling ages 2 to 1st grade. Here I am. I don't know how we'd fix that sign, do you? Then I might just go home and goof off. I don't know what else I could do that would be worthwhile. A couple of emails I've been wanting to catch up on that I want to send. Should check and see if Doug got his computer working too. And printer. Well, I think everything's good at the church. It was only 70 degrees in there. Almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Even though it's 85-ish outdoors. So I'm thinking we'll be just fine tomorrow. I remember all that stuff at my age. Tell you what, a lot of things just kind of blow right past me anymore. I've been using this brain for my own special purposes for so many years now that trying to get it in gear for something worthwhile kind of ruffles its feathers once in a while a little bit, I think. Yet we seem to get by good enough. The things you don't remember to do, you don't remember that you didn't do, so it doesn't seem like a problem. Leastwise till they start using words like Alzheimer's on you. Jump on the trail at Fanno Creek Park right there if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it though. You'd be a pedestrian trying to get across Hall Boulevard to get to the main park. I'd just go over and park at Albertsons or on one of the back streets off of Greenway Boulevard or whatever it is over there. A lot better. It's not enough for any one human being, in my opinion, to succeed at life and then die. We all want to live forever. That's the truth of it. We all do. I believe that God created men to live forever, and that's something that we just have in our souls, in our hearts. That's why death is such a painful, ugly thought. Yeah. There they go.